Hello, my name is Shirley Desai, and I am the founder and host of SPICE, which stands for South Asian and Global Perspectives in Cinema and Entertainment. I'm here today with a very special guest. She is a chef, an entrepreneur, a mom, and the champion of the Food Network Spring Baking Championship from 2021. I introduce Keya Wingfield.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you here. So you have a very interesting background. I think your story begins in Mumbai, India. You're surrounded by your mother's cooking and your father's art. And then you moved to the US and got married. And then you built your culinary career in Richmond, Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
And then you launched Keya and Company, a bakery blending Indian flavors with American favorites.
Correct.
In 2021, you were in the Food Network Spring Baking Championship, and that moment brought national visibility and new opportunities. Recently, you entered the snack food market with potato chips. You have the Bombay Spice chips and the black salt chips.
That's right.
Now, the chips are now reaching the retail shelves across America, so this is a very exciting time for her and for all of us. You're very active in social media, and that was one of the main interests in bringing you to our set today because we're all about entertainment and media. So I'm really going to probe into that deeply in a
Let's
little
do
bit.
it. Yeah.
Today we'll talk about her journey, family, Food Network, business, and what's ahead. Okay, your potato chips. I want to talk about your brand for a minute.
Let's do it. Yeah.
So tell us, each of these brands have, they're special with the packaging. I thought you could explain the meaning behind the packaging.
Yes, sure. So these are black salt spice potato chips. The spices are single origin organic. They come from India. The potatoes are American. This is an Indian American dream. Our packaging is made with a lot of intention and love. This is a family business, so we made sure we were honoring that at all times. The icon in the middle of the bag is my face. There's a poem around the icon that kind of puts a nod towards what my intention is in making food for people. My husband, he wrote that poem in 10 seconds because the question he asked me was, what do you want to do with this brand? What's the idea? And I'm like, I just want to feed people. So that's the poem he's written there, and you have to go buy the bag to read the poem. Okay, all right. And then there is Gujarati lettering. Gujarati is my mother tongue. It's what we grew up speaking at home. So on each side it says bataka wafer. In India, potato chips are called wafers. So we're kind of paying homage to that. The font on the bottom is custom made for us. There is a story of fours in the font. There is a Indian goddess of food. Her name is Annapurna, and she has 4 arms. So we kind of linked that to the women who raise us, or mothers, because they must have 4 arms given how much they do in their day,
definitely.
Right? And then also we're paying respect to the process of buying and selling. There are 2 hands that sell something, and there are 2 hands that buy something, right? If that transaction doesn't take place, you've got nothing here. So we're giving respect to that process. In the back of the bag, the seam of the bag is from my mom's sari, because she's the reason I know anything about flavor. I inherited that from her. I have a 6-year-old daughter. This hand, that's her hand. But this is kind of the story. Everything here speaks and tells you something about what we're doing.
Great.
Yeah.
And is there a difference between the 2 bags?
Yeah, well, what's inside is different. This is a Bombay spice flavor. That's a black salt. When you turn it around, you'll see the seams are different on each bag. But that's about it. Otherwise, it's the same.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Any significance with the colors of the bag?
Oh, good question. Yes. So black salt, there are these massive black salt plains in northwest of India where we get the salt from. And when you grind that salt down, it turns pink. So our bag is pink because of that. The Bombay one, this orangey, saffrony color is very prominent in our culture. It brings a lot of good omen. It's warm, it's inviting. Also, the color of the spice is kind of orangey in this sense. And also because in America, barbecue is such a big thing. and usually has an orange hue to it. So we're just kind of paying some respect to all of that.
Terrific. Family. Your mother was known for being a great cook. What are some of the dishes or lessons that still influence you today?
Use a lot of oil. That was her message. My dad used to tease her all the time. I'm like, there's water coming out of the faucet. It should be oil. That's how much she used. So, no, I joke, but she cooked from the bottom of her heart. We had people going in and out of our tiny little Bombay flat every single day. And whether it was 100 people or 2 people or 1 person, she fed everybody in the same spirit, the same meal made from scratch. It was very lively. So that's kind of what I was lucky enough to inherit from her.
And your father, he was an artist. Mm-hmm. So how has he influenced you?
Yeah, my dad was an artist, but he was also a businessman. That was his primary role in the home. He was one of those anomalies who had the left brain and the right brain. He was a scientist, he was a business guy, he was an artist. He could use all parts of his brain. And I always grew up watching him running a business, at the same time paying respect to his art, whether it was photography or painting or writing haikus. It just kind of made me really understand balance.
Yeah, you seem very well-rounded. You like a perfect combination of your mom and your dad. So I think that's really terrific.
Thank you.
So let's talk a little bit about the Food Network. So how was that whole experience?
I don't recommend it. Don't do it. Don't go shoot 10 episodes with them. No, I'm joking again. Food Network was very gracious. We shot all the episodes during COVID. So we were all quarantined in this fancy resort for a month. But they were very diligent in the way they did things. Everything was down to a science. It was like a well-oiled machine at all times. They were super respectful. Everything was organized. It was a really great experience.
So when you were on TV, were you nervous, or did you realize that, I'm millions of people are going to be watching me? Mm-hmm. So how did that work for you?
Yeah, no, I have never, maybe it's a weird chemical imbalance in my brain, I've never had stage fright since I was a little girl. Like, I used to dance in front of hundreds and hundreds of people. I don't thrive on attention. I don't want attention, but at the same time, I'm not afraid of, like, it doesn't bother me at all.
Oh, that's terrific. Yeah. What was the toughest moment for you on the show?
Oh, it's so exhausting, right? By the time you get to episode 5, you're just tired. You just can't do it anymore because it's so much mental effort, physical effort. There's so much thinking that goes into it on your feet. Like, you have to really kind of be in the moment, because when they tell you you have 45 minutes to do something, it's only 45 minutes. It's not like it's a TV clock, they'll extend it. No, it's 45 minutes.
So the last, when they say 1 minute left.
Yes, that is real. Very real. I wish it wasn't, but yes, that's real.
So did you feel like you got everything done that you wanted to?
No. Oh my gosh. I mean, I think to a chef, you could give me 20 hours to do something and it still wouldn't be enough, because we're always, want to make it better. But it's a good thing there was a constraint, or I would still be there baking a cake,
Winning gave you national visibility. How has that changed your outlook and your strategy for your business?
Oh, I don't have a strategy. I just, I think the only thing the winning taught me was it kind of gave me more insight into myself, right? It kind of made me appreciate how much I can push the envelope and kind of get things done. And also, I sort of thrive under pressure a little bit. I perform well when I'm under pressure, and maybe my flight and fright is, what's that phrase?
Flight or fright, yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Whatever that phrase. Yeah, maybe that's off. I don't know. But it just kind of made me understand that limitations only exist in my mind.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. So now, as an entrepreneur, You've successfully transitioned from being known as a pastry chef to also a CPG entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
What is the biggest challenge in that shift?
Um, as long as I kind of remember why I'm doing this, which is to feed people, everything else is gravy. You kind of learn on the job. The learning curve is very sharp. CPG, or consumer packaged goods, what CPG stands for. It's a very different animal than being in the kitchen making a cake or feeding 5 people. Now we're feeding thousands of people at one time. So as long as you kind of keep sight of your North Star, which is to feed, which is to make a good product, something that's delicious, that'll make somebody's day, then it's easy.
That's good.
Yeah.
How do you use social media
Mm-hmm.
in your new business?
I sort of latched on to social media in 2020 because I had some time. For the first time in my life, I had time to kind of lock myself in the kitchen and cook. But back then, I used to do it because I would miss my parents a lot. They were both passed away. And I would channel my mom by cooking, and I would take photographs and channel my dad by doing that.
Yeah.
That was kind of what I was essentially, it was therapy for myself. So that kind of like one thing led to another, and people started to notice that I was posting a few things and recipes, and just kind of created a very organic community around it.
Wow, that's terrific.
Yeah.
So what posts tend to resonate with your audience?
Mm-hmm. Anything with sugar.
Anything with sugar?
People love cake.
That's what I noticed too. I
Right.
always look through your posts
Yeah.
and see these
Yeah.
cakes, and they look so delicious, and,
Yeah.
and they're artistically beautiful. So
Thank
they're
you.
almost too beautiful to
Yeah.
eat, but
Yeah.
they look good.
I would say that I think the posts where I'm honest and vulnerable and open do better because people can see themselves in that, right? And it's very hard to be vulnerable, but it's a requirement. I feel like given the mental health issues, I feel like if we can all just open up a little bit, it would greatly, vastly improve that landscape.
So I know you were saying you don't follow a strategy for your business, but is there something you do with Instagram, and like, do you follow a content strategy, or you post every day, or how does that work exactly?
I really wish I had a smarter answer for you. I wish I could say, yes, we've got a content calendar and we plan it out 6 months ahead. And it's not all that. It's just very organic. I post something when I feel like my community would enjoy seeing it and would want to see a part of it. But I also don't, there's no planning per se. Like whatever I'm feeling, I post about it as is. There's no filter on that, just with a lot of honesty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have had an interesting personal journey. You have said that you've lost a lot of weight, and that's an inspiration. So how did you do that?
Oh, painfully. I had to make a very decided decision for myself. Either I continue down the unhealthy path that I was on, or I sort of do something about it, because this business, my daughter, my family, they need me, right? And if I can't be healthy, none of these things can have any justice per se. So it was easy to execute. It was harder to just get to it.
Make that decision.
Make that first step, if you will. But once I got into it, I'm a bit of a all or nothing kind of person. And I'm a little bit nuts. I don't know if you've noticed. But
no, not at all.
No, not completely sane. But when I put my mind to it, or when I believe in something, I will go all out.
Oh, terrific. Yeah. And so what tips do you have for all of us who want to lose weight, shed a few pounds?
I think the biggest part of weight loss is the self-negative talk. I think that is a very big thing. People are very fast to scold themselves internally. Like, oh, I ate this cookie, I feel bad. Now I'll go work out a little bit extra. Or why didn't I stick to my diet? Like, they're always being unkind to themselves. And that keeps you in that unkind space. I think that's what needs to change. Because then everything else kind of follows. The side effect.
Yeah. Okay. What is a day in the life look like for you?
It's all over the place. Every day is different. I wear a lot of different hats. One day I'm going to the warehouse and grabbing cases from they're delivered to local orders, or I'm sending invoices, or I'm tending to my daughter when she needs something. Really it's a 20-hour day for the most part.
So do you sleep much?
No,
I
I
think that's
yeah.
the trend I see with a lot of high achievers. They don't sleep.
Yeah, I feel like no matter how much I do, I always feel like I'm not doing enough. And I think that keeps me up. So that's the issue. Yeah.
Wonderful. What are your short-term goals for the next 1 to 3 years?
Hmm. I would just love to introduce as many people as possible to these flavors and to this product, and get, because Indian food can feel out of reach. It can feel really complex, like, oh, it's too much, right? So we've kind of simplified that experience in this chip. So I would love for more people to get a chance to experience that.
Oh, terrific. How do you see yourself expanding your impact in the market?
Um, one of the things that I'm very passionate about is kids trying this food. Because when you try it at a younger age, it opens your palate in a different way. So then when you become an adult, you're not a foreigner to these flavors, and you have a
Wow.
cultural palate at
I
that
never
point.
thought about that.
Oh, it's crucial that we get kids to try it. My own daughter, she only eats mac and cheese. Like, that's her only food group. It's mind-boggling. But she will eat a whole bag of Bombay chips, and I'm really proud of that. I think that is the key to these kids growing up and becoming well-rounded cultural adults.
So we talked about this a little bit already, but you're building a national brand while also being a mother.
Mm-hmm.
What have you learned about balance and how to balance your life?
There's no such thing as balance. One thing always suffers no matter what you do. I think for me, I view the business as a baby also, right? Like, I parent that business the way I parent my daughter. So it gets the best attention, it gets the most love, it gets the most thinking. I always want my daughter to be surrounded by really good, trustworthy people. And I feel the same way about the business. So I apply same rules to both. But there's always a time when one is ignored a little bit and the other gets attention, and it just kind of ping pongs back and forth. Because I think as women especially, there's no such thing as balance.
Yeah, I don't think there's such a thing either.
Yeah, it's a myth. So I'm giving up on that. Yeah.
Okay, well, I think we've covered a lot of interesting topics today.
Mm-hmm.
Where is the best place for people to, I have two questions for you.
Yes.
What do you want our viewers to do after listening to this interview?
Go buy a bag of chips. You can buy it at your local Home Goods, or you can buy it on our website. It's www.ksnacks.com, and tell your friends about it.
And how can people find you?
Yeah, so Instagram is one way. My handle is Keya & Co, or our business page, which is not very active, is Keya Snacks. And then the website where they can buy the chips.
Terrific. Well, it was such a pleasure talking with you today.
Thank you.
And this concludes our interview with Spice. And I look forward to having more discussions with Keya if she comes back.
I would love that. Thank you.
And have a very good rest of your day and week. Goodbye.